All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating concept from Innovex Ventures that's designed to take all that chaotic, manual marketing you're probably doing right now and transform it into a highly streamlined, automated architecture. Look, if you're a small business owner, you already know the hustle. But today, we're going to explore a system built to work tirelessly in the background so you finally don't have to. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The manual marketing trap, 2. What is AI automation, 3. The 6-component system, 4. Cost versus real ROI, and finally 5. A real-world success story with a med spa. So let's hit section 1, the manual marketing trap. You really have to ask yourself, why are you so exhausted and why is your sales pipeline so inconsistent? Well, unless you've figured out human cloning, you're probably acting as your own entire marketing department. You know the drill. You're writing the emails, updating the website, chasing down leads, tweaking the ads, and pulling data for reports. It is just completely exhausting. But here is the absolute major takeaway here. Your problem isn't a lack of effort. Honestly, you're working plenty hard. The problem is a lack of architecture. It's a night and day difference when you really look at it. Manual marketing means you are in the weeds, manually tagging contacts, hoping static drip emails actually resonate, and randomly publishing content whenever you somehow find a spare minute. On the flip side, with AI marketing automation, literally every manual task eating up your schedule has an automated, highly intelligent equivalent that scales seamlessly. Instead of you sorting things by hand, you get auto-tagging. Instead of basic static emails, you get behavior-triggered branching. The simple truth is, manual marketing doesn't scale. This new architecture absolutely does. Moving right along to section 2. What is AI automation? What's super interesting about this is that it completely busts a really common myth. AI marketing is not just some magic wand tool you buy and plug in. It is actually a stack of connected systems that constantly talk to each other. Your lead capture form talks to your CRM, which then triggers an email sequence, which then feeds data right back to your ad campaigns. So the key thing to understand is that this chain doesn't just blindly execute tasks, it actively adds content generation, behavioral prediction, dynamic personalization, and self-optimizing campaigns into the mix. It's actually learning and adjusting based on exactly how your leads behave. Which brings us to section 3, the 6-component system. Let's break down this entire stack. So here is the core framework developed by Innovex Ventures. Rather than just buying a scattered list of shiny new software tools, I want you to think of these 6 pillars as a chronological journey for every single lead that interacts with your business. We go from capture, to nurturing, to data management, all the way through to campaign optimization and content delivery. Let's start with the first 2 steps, which act as your entry point and your engine. Step 1 is lead capture and qualification. Whether someone clicks a Google ad or downloads an organic lead magnet, they are captured, automatically tagged by where they came from and what they want, and instantly routed to the right sequence. Zero manual sorting. Then, step 2 kicks in, the email nurture sequence. But we're not talking about a boring static drip campaign here. It's totally behavior triggered. If a lead clicks a pricing link in their second email, the AI instantly branches them over to a highly specific, pricing-focused third email. If they ignore an email completely, boom, they automatically get a re-engagement version. Tying all of this together is component 3, your CRM. Without automation, let's be real, a CRM is basically just a manual data entry graveyard that nobody wants to update. But inside this architecture, your CRM becomes a living, breathing, central nervous system that updates itself. It automatically shifts deal stages when emails are opened, creates follow-up tasks for you, routes the hottest leads to priority sequences, and even pings you when a lead goes cold. Your pipeline is always accurate, and literally no one had to touch a keyboard to make it happen. Then the system rounds out with a final 3 components. You've got AI lead nurturing, which figures out exactly where a lead is in their buying cycle based on their actions, and only surfaces them to you when they signal they are actually ready for a sales call. Next is campaign automation. Most ad campaigns are flying completely blind, just counting clicks, right? But this system pipes actual CRM conversion data back into Google and Meta, optimizing those algorithms based on your real paying customers. And finally, AI content delivery. Using AI models like Claude connected directly to your site, the system generates, schedules, and publishes your blog and social content. You get total consistency without manually writing or scheduling a single thing. Now, for the pragmatic owners tuning in, here is a quick look under the hood at the exact tech stack being used. It relies on solid tools like Brevo, FluentCRM, WPForms, and Claude via MCP.
But why does this specific lineup actually matter? Because this stack is built entirely on tools you control. There are no proprietary platforms hoarding your data, and absolutely no vendor lock-in. You own the architecture.
Moving into Section 4, Cost versus Real ROI. Let's look at exactly what this saves you. We need to do some quick eye-opening math here. Let's just assume your time as a small business owner is worth a very conservative $100 an hour. If you're spending just 10 hours a week on manual marketing tasks, writing emails, double-checking ad budgets, fixing the CRM, that is $1,000 a week in pure opportunity cost. That means you are bleeding $4,000 a month in hidden costs just by doing things the old-fashioned manual way.
Now, when you realize that this complete, fully automated system costs just $999 a month, the math becomes ridiculously obvious. The architecture essentially pays for itself before you even hit month 2, simply by giving you your time back to focus on high-value, needle-moving growth.
All right, Section 5, Success Story, MedSpa. Let's see this in action. To prove how this works in the real world, let's look at a MedSpa client. Before this, they were literally letting precious leads just sit in a manual Gmail inbox until someone magically remembered to follow up. We mapped out their new post-capture workflow, and here is how it played out. Minute 1. A form submission instantly triggered a CRM tag and a confirmation email. Over the next 10 days, a behavior-driven 5-email nurture sequence automatically fired off. By day 10, only the absolute hottest leads, meaning folks with 3 or more email opens and a visit to the pricing page, were flagged for same-day personal outreach. And to cap it off, at the end of the week, the system automatically generated a neat performance report summarizing lead volume and conversions. No one had to manually pull a single spreadsheet.
The immediate impact on their day-to-day operations was staggering. Their manual lead follow-up time plummeted from an exhausting 4 hours every single week all the way down to just 20 minutes. That is the true power of a self-updating system. And the best part? The results went straight to their bottom line. Because follow-up was no longer dependent on human memory, because it was suddenly consistent, immediate, and totally behavior-driven, their lead-to-consultation conversion rate skyrocketed by 34% in just 60 days. Which leaves us with one final thought. The absolute fastest path to getting these kinds of results is mapping out your current workflow to find exactly what can be automated. Getting a free automation audit lets you see what this system would look like for your specific business before you commit to anything. So ask yourself, if AI can handle all the busy work, what could you finally achieve with all those extra hours? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.